I know I got to get a better music system in here somehow, some way. We're going to get started here in just a few seconds. I'm going to wait for a few of the community members, some soldiers come in. All right. All right, my good friends, my fellow soldiers. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. Welcome, guest, soldier in the making. Happy New Year once again. Welcome to your Hour of Power, Your Solution Interaction podcast. All right, get in, buckle up, turn down all these horrible distractions that can keep you from getting your blessing and your peace tonight. Grab a pen or two. Did you invite a friend? Did you grab your pen? All right. I am your host, Soldier of Self-Mastery, here out of Stockton, California. Coach Santos, founder, visionary keyword for tonight. The world's #1 problem gambling interventionist. Yes, I am. Remember to soldier scribe right now. Please, if you're not soldier scribe to this channel, I'm inviting you to do that right now. Make sure that you turn your notifications to all. All right. Once again, gambling and addiction is a lie. It will turn you into a fry. If you make too many of those and eat too many of those, you will die. Time to decide. Let go your pride. Let's get started. Welcome. The Rock. Jim, Coach Jim. I believe we've got our, let me see. There's the invitation there. If you want to come on camera tonight, you want to join us, follow the guidelines, please. You're welcome to do that. We are broadcasting via Facebook. Shout out to Facebook. LinkedIn. Shout out to LinkedIn. And last but not least, YouTube, Soldiers of Self-Mastery. All right, tonight we're going to take on, I'm going to see if Coach Jim wants to come on. Welcome, The Rock from Brockton, Jim, Race. Good to see you here. And if you have a question, please challenge me. I am up for your challenge. Please. All right, let me turn down the music there. Make sure we've got, not that it's all that great, but it gives a little background. You know what I mean? You got to have some background, man. Little, and we'll get it right one of these days. All right, so welcome. Yes, Jim says it's good evening. It's time. Yes, Ray says hello. The Rock from Brockton chat. Okay, tonight we're going to take on a little bit of a different subject here. We're going to talk about where are you headed versus where you can be headed. And I'm not talking about having your head taken off here, okay, because that's what it sounds like, right? Where are you headed versus where could you be headed? Okay, that's no pun intended there. We've got a proverb out of 33 Psalms. We're going to read that here in a minute. And then we're going to get into some really great questions. I am going to do my best. Coach Jim is with us. I'm sure that he's going to get on the chat, possibly. I'm going to leave that up to Coach Jim out of Tuczon, Arizona. And Caleb, thanks for doing what you do, man. Big heart. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate the comment. All right. We will have an interlude during the middle of the broadcast. 35 to 45 minutes are going to go by very quickly. Listen, my friend, if you feel stuck, like you're stuck in quicksand, or you feel like you're in the dark cave all by yourself, and you truly want to get free, I'm going to ask you once again, grab a pen, okay? Grab a notepad, a piece of paper that you can hold on to, because we're going to look at vision today. We're going to talk about vision, your mission, right? Vision, your mission. For me, it was a lot of combinations of life hacking that actually got me to break the cycle that was operating in my subconscious, okay? It was a few life hacks, quite a bit of life hacks that actually helped me break the cycle, because that's what you have. You have a cycle, right? And that thing just turns. It keeps on turning. until you either crack the code or you break that thing, break it in half. And I'm talking about permanently. I don't want to just break something just temporarily. No, man, I'm talking about permanently. Total freedom. All right. So what's going to help you? Creating a vision, creating a mission, right? So that you have no constriction. Like they say, affliction comes through the addiction. And what we want to have is no pollution. So we're going to provide the solution. So welcome. Caleb, thank you. And it looks like we've got a few viewers. I don't know what's happening to folks. Maybe they're getting what they need and they're running, right? Maybe you're getting what you need and you're running. If that's what's happening in your life, those of you that are viewing and you're not coming on the broadcast, good for you. Take advantage of this opportunity here. Take advantage of this community while you can, because we never know when this podcast may come to an end. All good things have an end. All good things have an end. So while supplies last, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to invite you to bring a pen. Once again, did you bring a friend? Invite somebody. If anything, stay with the broadcast. All right, Jim's on. And we've got, let me see. If you have a question, please, if you have a question, feel free to ask. Okay. Hey, good evening, Jim. Good to see you.
Good evening there, Santos. Hope you had a good week.
Oh, man, it's been a challenging week, man. But it's been a super fantastic, terrific, over-the-top mindset. I was kind of joking around with some of my fellow team members in the office here in Stockton. And one of them, by female, says she couldn't say super fantastic, terrific, over the top in spite of, but she could say super fantastic on top of the world. Super fantastic on top of the world. So I hope you're doing well over there in wonderful Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, it's pretty good weather here.
Right on. Well, we're going to be, this is a little bit of a surprise to Jim because normally he doesn't know what we're going to be talking about. But I'm sure that he understands very clearly what is mission, right? What is vision. Now, I got to ask, let me get into the proverb real quick, and then we got a question that we're going to ask, okay? We're reading out of Psalm 33. This is 4 and 5. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. I like that. His work is right, and the works are done in truth, right? I can't stand lies. I don't know about you guys, but I can't stand lies, and I really don't like to be around liars. They just get under my hide. And there's just something about a liar, especially when you can see through that they're lying to you. He loveth righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. All right. You guys know I'm a little bit religious, so I got to get that seed in there. All right. What does your life look like? Now, I'm presenting this question. I'm going to let Jim share a little bit about how he feels and what is the importance of having a vision today more than ever. A vision to me is a mission, or a mission statement could be your vision, vice versa. So I'm going to let Jim share a little bit about what he thinks, okay? But what does your life look like? Now, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to be a little bold tonight, and I'm going to ask you to take some notes, especially if you are an individual that is fighting and you're in a battle. So what does your life look like now? What does it look like now? Right? We're talking about vision and the present time. And I want you to take a minute while Jim shares his piece. Take a minute and write that down, because I want you to think about this so that you can ask some questions. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to ask some more questions here. We're going to take this, and we're also going to answer your questions. So, Jim, what do you think about that? What do you think about having a mission? Or is it important? Why should you have a mission? Why should you have a vision?
Well, doesn't the Bible say if the people don't have a vision, the people will perish? They'll die. I think Ronald Reagan said, the United States is a dream, and if we stop dreaming, right, there goes the republic. The republic will die. So, I mean, we have to see into the future. And I think not only do we have to see into the future, look into the future, we have to look for the best into the future, right? We have to see how we can make that future the way we want it to be. Okay, and that's a decision right there. Okay, we talked about last week, the importance of a decision. We have to decide that our lives are worth it. We have to also, you were talking about, it's important to see how they are right now. We have to be honest with ourselves. You know, if we have an addiction problem, we got to acknowledge that, right? We got to say, yeah, I don't have any money in the bank account. You know, I lose all my money.
Mm-hmm.
You got to admit it, right? Because all right, the truth shall set you free, right? So that you can, make those corrections, right? So
Exactly.
seeing your life how it is right now is important, you know, but also you need to also see how your life can be, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
dreaming part. That's the vision part,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it takes a couple deals or maybe three things. Decide that you want to get better, look at the current situation and say, you know what? I got some problems here, admit it to yourself, right? And then start working on where you want to go, right? That direction. And you were talking last week about the importance of a mission, purpose, right? What is my purpose? What is my, where do I want to take my life? And I
Mm-hmm.
think we have to decide that we all have, another opportunity because we're still alive. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're older or younger, we still have a chance. You know, I don't want to be camping out in regret. You know, I- I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. Everyone's made mistakes, right? And we can go ahead and live there and say, oh, you know what? My life has been ruined. It's awful. I'm not where I could be, like my friends and my family members. No, don't camp out there. We have the ability to see into the future and make it better than what it is right now, right? And
Exactly.
um,
Exactly, Jim. Exactly. You said, man, you must have read my notes. Anyways, that's true. Exactly. I double take with what Jim has shared there. Of course, we got to take it bit by bit. You mentioned that people perish. Well, we're gonna take on your question, Race. I know that you have a question there. Anybody else that has a question, please feel free, put it there. Listen, if you want to come on the screen, if you want to come you want to come live onto this podcast, and you want to interact live via camera, you're welcome to do that. Okay, you're slowly perishing. You're slowly perishing. It's important to have a vision, like Jim said, right? We must decide. But what's also important that helps is actually knowing where your vision is right now in the present. Um, Here's my first question. Where are you going to be in 6 months? Now, take just a minute here, take a minute or two and write down on a piece of paper. Okay. Well, Santos, I don't feel like writing. I don't have a pen. Well, let me tell you something. And I say this in love. You might be a fallen soldier. Okay. These little life hacks that I'm sharing with you have gotten me to the confidence, to the peace. It has restored my financial vision. It's restored some of my broken relationships that I've had. Not that I have a lot of them. I don't care to have a lot of relationships. I don't care to have a lot of friends. I would prefer to have a few allies, people that I can really depend on, people that I can trust, people that I can exchange energy with. Because many friends, I mean, there's so many people out there that you can have friends. A lot of people around us don't have vision. They do not have vision, and you can tell because most people want to stay in the comfort zone. right? You must not look for the easy way. At least today, you'll be headed for decay. And you might even stray, lose your way. That's what I like to say. Slowly perishing. So do you know where you are today? Do you know? I mean, this is a subject for many people that is very, very challenging to sit down and think about where your money's going, what's happening to your relationships right now, what's happening to your spirit, right? What's happening to your inner soul. That's and the consensus, the legion, most people, we know, Saturdays and Sundays, they're doing their thing or overdoing it. I mean, some things you can do in moderation. I used to be a bad alcoholic. Do I still drink beer? I might have a beer maybe once a month. Maybe some months I don't even drink. I just have it for whatever. But I can tell you one thing about me is that I've gotten so much vision and so much mission inside my head. And this is what I want to transfer it to folks. Because once you have it, you won't lose it. And you can apply it anywhere in life. And you can even apply it for gambling. Some people can go into a casino. Now, I don't advocate it. Some folks can go into a casino and come out and don't go for 3 or 4 months. They might lose $20. That's not too bad. There's other people that go in the casinos, they lose $30, $40, $50, and then they're back there again. They're back there the next day, they're trying to chase their losses. That's a vision. That's a present vision. So think about this. Where are you going to be in 6 months? Right? Where are you going to be in 6 months with your current vision? Is 6 months a good judgment, Jim? So before we get Jim to speak, I want to address race. My friend has a nicotine addiction. He's only 19. What can I do to help him? Well, I don't think you're going to be able to help him. You may be able to support him in some way, right? You may be able to be there for him, but you're not going to help him because he said he doesn't need help. And he wants to hit the nicotine till his lungs turn black. Well, there's really nothing that you can do for this guy except for, keep an eye on him to see if he might be open to some life hack. Maybe, hey, make a suggestion. I know these two crazy coaches, man. They're just nuts. They come on Sundays. And I think that maybe if you came on the channel, you might get some inspiration to move away from the black lungs. Right? Who was it that had a black lung or tuberculosis? I think it was that movie called Tombstone. Maybe I'm thinking about these cowboys. OK Corral, the fight at the OK Corral. He had tuberculosis. It wasn't black lung, or maybe it was black lung. Anyhow, that's my recommendation, because you're already telling me that he doesn't need help. You may be able to support. You may not be able to help him right now, but you may be able to support him in some way. That's probably the best answer that I can give you. I don't know, Jim might see things a little bit differently.
I think Race brings up a good point. For me, myself, it's very easy for me to concentrate on other people's lives and try to fix other people's problems, gossip, and just kind of worry about other people's problems as an excuse not to take care of mine. I mean, it's like when you're dealing with kids, that's something else. Kids, I think they deserve, some direction, some, speaking to, some wisdom, from your life. When we're talking about adults, over 18, you can't carry them, really. You really can't carry them. I mean, the best you can do is probably inspire them with your healthy living, run a marathon, maybe, invite him to go and watch you run that marathon, with those good, healthy lungs, right? That might be it. I mean, so that's really helping yourself. So, I mean, Race's situation just reminds me that there's a lot of focus thieves, Santos. There's a lot of focus thieves that will, disguise themselves as being virtuous, right? Helping other people. But when you can't take care of yourself, man, that's the worst. That's the worst. So we got to really be focused, right? where do we need to put our attention, right? Put your mask on first, right? If the airplane, something's going down with the American airplane, you got to take care of yourself first. That's so
Yep.
important.
Yep. If you lose cabin pressure, right? That's kind of figurative too, right? In the airplane, if you lose cabin pressure, well, you have to learn to put on the mask, right? If it truly loses cabin pressure. Another thing, and figuratively speaking, before we can truly support somebody else or offer some real help, we have to make sure that we have the mask on. The other thing is planes have turbulence, right? There's a vision. There's a vision. Imagine getting in an airplane and just traveling the skies, right? Not in the skies, but above wherever they fly, and there's no direction. That would kind of be weird, wouldn't it? It doesn't make sense. We're going somewhere, but we don't know where we're going. And you're going to face a lot of turbulation in the airplane. It's just like our lives, right? Our same thing with our lives. You're headed somewhere. You're going somewhere. You're going to face turbulation, whatever you want to call it. What do you do? What do you do? It's not funny, but it's bizarre. And at least for me, when I didn't have any direction in life, when I started realizing that I could create vision for myself, and you can change vision. You could begin moving like an airplane, right? An airplane could be going in a certain direction. There's a destination. Sometimes the airplane has to reroute and go to another destination. It has to change the vision. And our lives are like that too, right? You're headed somewhere. In 6 months from today, where are we at? Today's the 5th. Already February. The year 2023. We're already headed into the year 2024 before you know it. Can you change the direction, or are you satisfied with heading towards the 6 months from today with the same vision that you're carrying? Well, Santos, is it important to write down something? Have you written down something? Have you? What happens to an individual that is just roaming around with no direction? Unless you're extremely smart and you know that your brain, your subconscious, your conscious thinking is a supercomputer, and you can believe that, but we all need support. We all need tools. I know I do. I wouldn't come to this broadcast if I didn't have some kind of notes to guide me, and I'd be all over the place. And I know for a fact, well, I have an idea of where I'm going to be in 6 months. Do you know where you're going to be in 6 months? You're welcome to share. I'd like to see some input here. And Santos, you're being hard on us. Well, I got to be hard because I want you to be where you need to be headed, right? Remember this, that faithful are the wounds of a friend. I may hurt some of you a little bit here. You may feel a little bit maybe insulted, but you'll heal. And maybe you'll thank me later, right? Faithful are the wounds of a friend. But remember this one. Deceitful are the kisses of the enemy. See, the enemy may be your enemy could be gambling in the casino, right? That could be an enemy. The enemy could be way too much drinking, or maybe even overeating. Oh, but Santos, man, it feels good to eat cake with chocolate milk at least 3 or 4 times a week. Or, tanking up at the pub, or just sitting at home tanking up, like they say, just cutting the rough edge off life. Deceitful are the kisses of your enemy. Sooner or later, that enemy is going to have you in a trap. And where are you going to be in 6 months? Where are you going to be in 6 months? Yes, we can definitely change vision. Most definitely. That's a great question there. What you think you really want is not it once you get there. Well, we all know where we're headed. If you take a glimpse, if you take a snapshot of your life right now and where you have been coming from, you should be able to see a little bit forward. You should be. This is important, folks. Um, Jim said it earlier. People perish. The Bible says it. That's a proverb. My people perish because they lack a vision. Now, there's a spiritual meaning behind that also. So go ahead, Jim. Oh, let me, Jesse, welcome. Good to see you. Yes, kids, yes. In response to Jim, Coach Jim there. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Glad that you guys are driving. Be safe on the roads. Jesse says, good evening. Who else was on here that, amen. Gambling is a lie. Thanks for all you do. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, in regards to The Rock, he talked about what if you create a vision and you work your way to it and you realize that's not really where you wanted to go. I think that the important thing is the process. It's like taking the intentional steps to move to where you want to go. Maybe that's not really where you wanted to go, but when you analyze, when you reflect, you're building those habits. Okay, so maybe I really didn't want to go here. Let me think about it, just pull back and understand why I believe this is not my place, and relook at the situation, and then make those plans, set that new vision, and then do the same thing that you did before. Just take those steps. So the process is probably more important than the actual destination, really, because if you can go and build, those habits, that discipline to make that vision, right? Analyze yourself, take notes, take those steps, yeah, you might not get to where you wanted to go, but hey, you're moving closer. It's kind of like a ship, trying to get to a destination. Sometimes you get blown one way and then another way, right? But little by little, right? You're tacking, resetting the course, right? That's the important thing, just take those intentional steps. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's okay. So
Exactly. Somebody needs to hear this tonight. I need to hear this tonight. We can get so comfortable and moving in the direction that we're moving, thinking that it's all right, right? It's just like passe, well, maybe not passe, but everything's cool. Santos, everything's great. Somebody, somebody, one or two of you really need to take heed to this message and begin your journal. Begin your journal. Just as is important to be here on Sunday for you, this is a community, right? What am I supporting? What am I trying to help you move away from or heal from trauma, from gambling, from any particular addiction? Because they're all, I mean, they're different, right? Each addiction is different, but they all play, they all perform. They're all going to end up damaging you, all of them, and especially the ones that I know about, right? I know about drug addiction, I know about alcoholism, and I definitely know about gambling. I've been reading a lot of the comments on my YouTube channel, and I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the comments that are being left. Some of you that are here, go back into the YouTube, not just to watch the videos, but read the comments. Listen and look at what people are saying about themselves. There's people that are chatting. There's people that are leaving comments that I'll probably never meet, even though I do my best to reach out to those of you that I receive comments from. There's people that they're headed for suicide in 6 months. What about 12 months? If you're currently at the pace that you're going right now, and in the present, you look at where you are right now. If you look at where are you in 12 months, we're going to be, well, actually 10 months, right? Almost 10 months. But in 12 months, let's just use that number. Where will you find yourself? 6 months is the halfway point. 2024 is going to be another year. Where will you find yourself? Take time to write this down. Before you go to bed, you'll be pondering this. You'll be thinking about it. You'll wake up in the morning, you'll be thinking about this. Man, where am I going to be in 12 months? Is what I'm doing healthy? Is it going to get me? Is what I'm doing, think about it. Your current vision that you have, that's your current mission. That's your mission. Now, some of you won't acknowledge that. Some of you will, some of you won't. I know I was ashamed to express my vision at some point in my life. I didn't want people to know what I was doing. I didn't want family to know. I didn't even want my family, my present family at home to know. So I would sneak around. They had an idea, but that was my mission. And I was able to finally change it. That's why I know you can finally change it. And you can start doing that tonight. Tonight could be your night for changing your vision. Tonight could be the night where you declare peace over your spirit, over your mind. Tonight could be this night. Whereas Race was talking about, I believe it was Race, about changing your vision. All right, so 12 months. Those are two good markers to think about. 6 months from now, 12 months from now. Okay. Jim, anything you want to share right now before I go into the intermission? So we can, I'm telling you, time, look at that. We're already 32 minutes into the broadcast.
Yeah. I mean, like some people are so put down, they're so defeated. It's so difficult for them to even have that kind of spirit. Their spirit has been just put down so much because, the gambling or the addiction has just beat them down, and all their losses and the damage that it has done. So it's hard, it's like, I can't imagine for some people, suicide, right? There's no hope, right? There's no hope. But yeah, you got to make that choice. It's like, I'm going to turn my life around. I've had it. I'm disgusted with my life. I don't want to live like this anymore. Mind, mouth, power, right? You got to say that I'm not going to live like this anymore. I deserve a better life. I can make a better life. You just say it out loud and you just decide, right? And that's the nice thing about when you decide on something, it's a freeing feeling, actually, when you say, you know what, that's it. I'm going to turn it around. And when you start doing that, you start taking action, right? Little things. And I think it's important really to focus on living in the moment after you decide, because each moment that you're given, each moment, micro moment, is an opportunity for you to move, right, in the direction that you want to go, right? Every moment right now, our focus right now, right? Everyone on board here, listening, concentrating, writing, you are making your way towards that better place, So decide. Once you decide, man, that's a freeing thing. You go ahead and say you appreciate, every single moment, because that's an opportunity for you to choose the right thing. And we were talking about seeing the way our life is right now. Just take an assessment, each day. James Clear's Atomic Habits. He talked about, just recording what are you doing each day. Make it a positive, a negative, or a neutral. And just kind of analyze what is happening in your life. You say, you know what, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? You know what, I'm going to focus on this thing. And when this time comes along, I'm going to be conscientious, and I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Right? How do I feel? What do I do? You're writing all these kinds of things. Being aware of yourself and understanding yourself, is, the beginning for you to change. right? It's like going to the casino. Why do you go to a casino? You know, asking those deep questions, the question behind the question that can help you understand yourself so that you can go and make those changes.
Exactly. Understanding yourself, deciding. These are all wonderful things that some of us are not used to. And of course, it's going to take some time to turn your life, right? Your life is like a ship, your mind, your body, your spirit. It's like a big ship, right? But you take those two Anthony Robbins talked about 2 millimeters, just a little shift, little tiny shift. One note, one note tonight, one note in the morning. You know, answer the two questions. Jim was speaking about writing down, right? Very simple. 6 months from now, take a piece of paper and you write down 6 months from now, where am I going to be? You know, nobody else needs to tell you. Uh, you know yourself better than I do, or than Jim does, or anybody else, right? The doctor doesn't know you as good as you know yourself. The casino, that bottle of spirits does not know you as well as you know yourself. But the bottle of spirits will join you anytime. Hey, let's go. It'll speak to you, right? It has a silent voice. Where are you going to be in 12 months? That's where you could start right now. Where is your final destination at the end of this year? These are good little points to start out with. Uh, Points of interest, if you will. POI, points of interest. So let me take a few minutes here. I'm going to probably shock some of you guys here. Maybe not, but you know that this is a mission, right? You know that this is a community. This is a place where you can come, others can come, and you also know that this here, this our time is money. Money isn't time, but money pays the bills, and it can do many great things, right? We need to work together. So, where could you employ your support within this mission? You don't have to tell me. I just want you to think about this, okay? I'm kind of like time to pay the bills here, right? Where could you employ your ability to support this mission? Well, what does that do? It helps you, it helps me, it helps others, right? The support. And support here also means support to you, right? Could you support financially? Would you support financially into this mission instead of giving to the dead, if that makes sense? Anything that does not bring you life, you're basically supporting financially with your time and even money. You're actually planting seeds in the dead. Anything that doesn't bring you life, anything that doesn't bring you support. All right. I just want to throw that out there. And I say this, that only you could give up your time, you could give up your talent. Think about this. Okay. Where could you support? Where could you use or employ your talent to help this community grow and reach out to 1 million souls? Because that is my mission. 1 million souls out of the fire. I may not see the 1 million souls. I may not be here. I'll be long gone. But that mission will stick with the Soldiers of Self-Mastery community for as long as it can, right? 1 million souls, man, out of the fire. All right, that's my intermission. We're going to get into a few more questions here. Time is moving along. Look at that. We're about 15 minutes away from the broadcast. So we're going to get into the second half here. Jim, you want to share something? Something's on your mind? Let me see. I'm not getting any more questions.
I would, encourage the audience to, give little testimonials on Santos's videos or page, Facebook, on, the positive things that you've been doing to move yourself in the direction that you intentionally set, that better place. Like today was a great day because, this is what I planned to do. This is what I did. This was the challenge that I had, you know, but, this is what happened. I encourage everyone to really kind of think about this and write on Santos's YouTube pages and videos and, all the social media things, and give some testimonials, kind of like a journal almost. It's like, hey, Santos, guess what I did today? This is what happened. I set a goal, I worked through it, and I was able to get it done.
Exactly.
That's a form of journaling. Remember, right, Santos?
Yes.
Putting that kind of stuff down, texting that stuff down, uploading, those comments, really makes you think again about what you're doing.
It is a form. Yeah, it's a form of journaling. Exactly. In
Sure.
fact, if I may, the link that's scrolling below, you can go, and I appreciate all of you that have given to this mission financially, right? I truly appreciate you for doing that. And I believe this with my whole heart that anybody that gives financially to this mission, you're going to receive a blessing in return. Now, I'm not going to promise you financially, right? But you may get a blessing, or you will get a blessing in return in some form. And who knows? It might be financially. You may not be thinking about this, but I can tell you, as a visionary, there's many ways that money can come. It could be a job. It could be a better job. It could be more confidence. It could be starting your vision tonight. Exactly. You can go to soldiersofselfmastery.com. You can leave your testimonial there. That helps the community big time. It helps me reach out to others. A lot of people are afraid to take me on as a coach. They're afraid. Why? They don't want to invest in themselves. It's not me. I'm not the one. I have the solution, right? I'm ahead. If you're going to listen, if you really want to turn your life around, if you really want to grow a vision, get advice from somebody that's already doing it, that's already there. That's the best way to do it, and it cuts your time in half. So I would appreciate it. Anyone here on this broadcast, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, check out soldiersofselfmastery.com. We're still fixing the site. We're still making changes, and it's going to improve as time goes on. But leave a testimony if there's something that we've done, something that I've shared with you. Even with Coach Jim, you could leave a testimonial on that, and I would really appreciate that. That helps. It may even help more than financial. So keep that in mind. Please, please. All right, we've got a few minutes here. Ray says fully commit to that with full strength, and you have a way, better quality of life overall. I'm encouraging you to start your vision. Start your vision tonight. As Ray said, was it Ray? You can change it. You can change. In fact, you can change it as many times as you want. And you'll find this to be true. Once you're heading in a certain direction, you may change a couple times. You may change where you want to be because you're growing, your different experiences are happening. You're beginning to dig deeper inside yourself. Maybe you're opening up the treasure box that you've never opened, and you begin to see these jewels. Wow, man, I didn't know this. I didn't know that I had the ability. Man, I didn't know that I could multiply here and do these things. Now, what would it look like if you completely decided? What would it look like if you completely decided to start crushing the temptations that are bringing you down? What would it start to look like if you completely decided to start? Could tonight be the start? Right now, during this broadcast? What does that look like for you? Earlier, we talked about where you're headed, right? The vision that you have currently. Where's that taking you? Where are you going to be in 6 or 12 months? Now, what if you wrote down today, right now, right here? Now, what are the addictions that I need to crush? Or what is the major addiction? What would begin to happen to my life? Which direction would I begin to move in? That's for you to answer. Think about that, please. Take time right now if you need to. Write down on that piece of paper and safeguard. All right. Go ahead, Jim. You got something in mind? I can see the wheels turning, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think a good word, to get that emotional connection is like serious. Our lives are serious, and we got to get serious. What does serious look like, Santos? Serious is deciding. Serious is committing. Serious is, you know what? I'm going to make some extra money. Instead of going to the casino, I'm going to hire Santos as a coach. I'm going to get serious about my life. And I'm going to go ahead and not Mickey Mouse and do this casual. I'm going to go ahead and start taking intentional steps, to turn my life around. Serious, right? Our lives are serious. I don't want to be, broke, in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't want to be sick, I mean, just look around, do a search on sick people, do a search on broke people. They're living outside, right? That's serious.
And they didn't start that way.
Yeah. And that's a sad life, man. And that's, seriously, I don't want that. You got to go and think about that. You know what? I got to get serious. What are the things that I'm going to do to prove to myself that I'm serious about changing my life? Because this sucks. I know where it's going to take me, and I don't want it. You got to get angry. You got to say, you know what, that's wrong. You have some integrity with your life. You say, draw the line in the cement, right? Like you said before, draw the line in the cement, say, you know what? No, I'm going to get serious with my life. And I'm going to go out and start making changes by deciding, and doing whatever it takes. And that's, that's hiring you, finding a coach, watching the videos.
Exactly. I'm not going to say I'm always available because I do have specific times, and my schedule is getting tighter and tighter. But I look at this, the little bit of an investment that you would make in yourself to sit with me on a more personal level, not to be your judge, not to crack a whip, but to be there with you and to see the things that you're not seeing, right? That's what a second set of eyes and ears are good for. They can hear, right? Imagine if you had 4 ears and 4 eyes. What would that do for your life? You would be able to see better. You'd be able to see more broad, and you could hear better. You could hear what you're not hearing, if that makes sense. That's what a good coach does. A good coach can help you in many areas of life. It doesn't have to be in particular gambling, right? There could be other areas. It could be financial. It could be starting a business. It could be addiction or gambling. And that's what I train for. I train to specialize in those key areas so that I can help you see what you're not seeing right now. And I read a lot of the comments on YouTube, and I see the same people saying, basically repeating the same thing: losing money. I went for 2 weeks. I went for losing money. I'm broken now. Can't pay the rent, my car note, all the losing over and over. And yet you have an opportunity to invest in yourself, just a few dollars that I believe very strongly are going to bless you multiplied in many ways, even financially. Anyone that sits with me for coaching, not just once, I'm talking about coaching, at least 90 days, you will receive financial blessings out of that. I truly believe that. So what you invest in yourself could be multiplied many times over. All right, what would it look like in 3 to 6 months? Again, if you decided to start crushing your temptation, what would it look like then in 3 to 6 months? Where would you be headed? Can you see that vision? Can you see this new vision of yourself? Man, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and you haven't done your addiction, right? And if you can't do it by yourself, if you've tried and tried, if you can't do it by yourself, You need a good counselor. You need somebody by your side, man. You need to humble yourself because it's obviously that you haven't been able to do it by yourself. Now, this program, this community could carry you for a couple of days, right? You're here on Sunday, but come Wednesday, Thursday, you might be back at it all over again. That's the importance of having a coach, having a great counselor, an accountability partner. Coach Jim could be that for you. I know we're not going to do this free because we want you to put some skin in the game. All you have to do is be willing to communicate and be willing to invest in yourself because that's what you're really doing. You're not investing in me, you're investing in yourself. I'm just going to be there. Jim is going to be there to provide the necessary nutrients so that you can flourish, so that your garden will grow. All right? Thinking right about what I just shared with you. These things may just seem maybe not so what I'm sharing with you, and we're coming close to the end of this broadcast, but what I've shared, these questions, I'm hoping that they're sinking in deep because it's so simple, right? I'll write down 6 months. I don't have to do that. I'm okay the way I am. Try it. Try it and see what begins to happen to your thinking process. Challenge yourself and see what begins to happen to your thinking process. What would it look like then in 3 to 6 months? What about 1 year? 1 year. So you got two scenarios. You got two visions. The one that you're currently on right now, if it's a good vision, stay on it. If it's not, what should you be doing? What should you be starting to do immediately? Pronto. All right, we're coming to the C2A, which stands for the call to action here. By the way, if you're not Soldier Scribe, once again, I'm inviting you to Soldier Scribe to this mission. If you're not on SciTech, let me put it here real quick. Go ahead, Jim. I'm going to let you share.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to let you share. You're free to share.
Okay.
I'm acting like a boss now. I'm not the boss.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you, I think, getting coaching, just doing something different than what you are doing, right? Taking it to the next level, making a change, start changing. Remember, because like, if you don't change, it's always going to be the same, right? And how has it been for you so far, right? If you're going to keep doing what you're doing, right? You're going to keep getting what you're getting, right? So start making a change. I think, when you start doing your vision, when you start deciding and taking activity, right? Not being afraid, just jumping in, in anything, we start refining, what's happening. It's like for me, it's like I decided, I'm going to be more organized, and when I decided, I look for all these little details, when I'm cleaning, every little thing, and I take action. That's the discipline deal right there. You discipline yourself. You start disciplining yourself to do what you promised yourself you would do, right? And then when you start doing these things, right, it feels good, number one. Number two, you start thinking, oh, you know what? How can I do this a little bit better? How can I do this a little bit faster? How can I do this a little bit quicker? How can I do this a little bit cheaper? And you start getting these ideas when you're moving in the right direction, right? And then it starts snowballing, right? And you start getting that self-confidence, right? So start making those little changes, stick with it, right? The discipline, we talked about that last week. And then you're going to go ahead and start seeing, wow, I am making some positive changes, positive steps. And I'm thinking about how I can go and do even a better job, moving up to the next level. Number one, right? Taking action. Instead of going to the casino, watching Santos's videos, being here Sunday night. What's the next level? Okay, what else can I do? I can hire Santos as a coach, instead of spending money at the casino. 1 week, Santos, yes, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, something, it's one of those days, right? Half an hour, right? Just spend a little bit of money. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting some good ideas. Writing things down. It's like you're moving in the right direction. So yeah, I tell you, I think a lot of people are put down or are depressed, right? Man, if you can just take that step to set it aside and start taking action, you're gonna be feeling a lot better. You're gonna be feeling a lot better.
Exactly, Jim. I couldn't have said it better myself, man. I appreciate that. All right, we're coming to the close here. If you want to make contact with me, I can also correspond via email, right? I created this thing called SciTech. Kind of sounds futuristic, like androids or something. No. SciTech, stay in touch, email communication, right here. You see it on the screen. You're welcome to reach out to me. Again, I don't offer free coaching any longer, but you can reach out to me by email and I will respond, or I will have one of my team members respond. Who knows? I may get Jim involved in there. I don't want to take up too much of his time. He's in charge of that. But our time is, like I said, 1 hour here is very, very precious to me. I learn a lot as I come on this broadcast. I learn from you guys. I learn from Jim, and I also learn from myself. And hopefully you're in the same boat, that you're learning from us, but more importantly, that you apply. All right. So here's my C2A, my call to action. Next week, we're going to be back here again, 7 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. So I appreciate Jim coming on. He's all the way from Arizona, different time zone. So I know it's a little bit more on him. And some of you are probably on the East also. I appreciate you. I want you to know that. Tell yourself tonight in the mirror that you appreciate yourself, man. Look yourself straight in those beautiful pupils and say, you know what, in the mirror? Jim Santos, say your name. Don't say my name. Say your name and say, you know what, I appreciate you. And we are going places. All right. Here's my call to action. Write your vision, okay? Write it down. Don't just think about it. Write it down and safeguard what you write. Eventually, it may change, right? What change would you like to see happen within this year? That could become your mission. And once you're driven, man. It's hard to stop a train, like they say. Of course, that applies to the air conditioner. But they make a product, I refer to it by train, TRANE, right? It's hard to stop a train. Your mission is like a train. It's hard to stop your mission. It's hard to stop your vision, okay? Now, what change would you like to see happen within this year? This is extremely, extremely important to you, right? For your peace, for your mind, for your life. For your peace, for your mind, for your life. With that said, I want to thank each and every one of you. I really appreciate Facebook allowing me, LinkedIn allowing me, and YouTube in particular. We are growing, so I'm asking for your support if you feel supported by this community. With that said, I want to thank Jim, Coach Jim out of Tucson. Jesse, thank you for hanging out with us and learning and practicing. Laura, thank you also for being. Race, man, I appreciate the gift. I truly appreciate it, and I hope that we've been a good service to you tonight. I hope all of you will start creating new vision if you don't have a current one that's positive. All right. Thank you for that. Who else was with us? Let me see. Purify. Thank you. I need a coach to talk to whenever I have urges. Well, I don't know about a coach that you can talk to whenever, but we do have coaches that you can talk to at the appropriate times that are available. So keep that in mind, please. All right. Mark, thank you for being with us here. Appreciate safe driving while you're out there. And there's been quite a few people on the broadcast tonight, so I really appreciate that through Facebook, through LinkedIn. Let me see. We got Race, Jesse, Purify, The Rock from Brockton. There we go. The Rock. It reminds me of wrestling there. All right. Thank you for that. And who else? Amen. I don't know if Amen hung out all the way, but thank you. Gambling is a lie. Addiction is a lie. Gambling is a lie. Sure is. Right. Thank you for being with us. And who else was here? Let me see. Caleb. Caleb, that's a biblical name there. Thank you for doing what you do. Big heart. Thank you. Appreciate that. Not from the bottom of my heart, but from the top. All right. And there he is, Coach Jim. Thank you for hanging out with us, Coach Jim. I appreciate you. And who else was here? Oh, somebody else. Let me see. There was another donation that was given to the mission here. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Race. Okay, there. My weekly goal is to contribute. Thank you. I appreciate you for doing that. Man, there's a blessing in return. There is. You watch out for that one. Thank you. Purify. Thank you for that. You must have been touched tonight, and I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So to the rest of you guys, I will see you once again, soldiers, community members, guests. I will see you, Coach Jim and I, Lord willing. We will see you on Sunday with, I forgot to give the episode. But anyways, it was episode 190. Oh, what was it? Forgive me for that one. I didn't put it down. This is actually 193, episode 193. So stay tuned for episode 194 next week. With that said, peace and strength. Make your day good and create that vision.
Thank you,
All right,
Santos.
Jim. You have a good night, man. Safety.